The world is such a beautiful place, full of adventure and youth, full of whimsicalness and fun. I forget that sometimes, but movies like The Florida Project remind me just how whimsical and fun everything can be. It's heavily dependent on our perspective, and so having two main characters that inhabit that childish youth that is so valuable makes this movie super entertaining to watch and tolerable even though they're going through a rough patch in their life. But amidst all the chaos is levity, friendship, love, vibrant colors. It's great. This movie makes me really happy. I watched it for the second time for this essay or commentary or whatever you would like to call it, and time just flew by. I remember starting the movie, and then when I looked back at the time, 40 minutes had already passed. A little concerning, but that just speaks to how well-paced and smooth the storytelling is in this film. It's a comfort movie in a lot of ways, but it's also thought-provoking as well. Seeing the juxtaposition between Hallie's struggle and Mooney's carefreeness, and just going back and forth between the struggles of the adults and the whimsical adventure of the children for like an hour and a half is so mesmerizing to witness, and it just feels so real and like a true reflection of the human experience. I sound like such a hippie right now, but this movie brings out the hippie in you, and that's fine. That's wonderful. You'll like the hippie feeling. You'll want to climb a mountain after this movie, or just look at a beautiful sunset and appreciate its glory entirely. There's nothing wrong with that. After watching this movie for a second time and reading the Wikipedia page for it, I was fascinated by the obsession with Disneyland, and it's kind of a theme throughout the movie and narrative. This idea of fantasy and this magical place slash kingdom that you can escape to, juxtapositioned by the cold hard reality of staying in a vibrant purple hotel managed by Willem Dafoe. But what I love is that Mooney, Scotty, Jancy, Hallie, Bobby all try to make the best of it. And when this film is beautiful, it's beautiful. When this film wants to be trashy, it's trashy. It covers the whole human experience pretty well, both the beauty and the anguish. For a movie that is rather raunchy and vulgar at times, I walked away with this impression of innocence and upliftingness from the narrative that I think they were aiming for. Yeah, this movie is just really innocent. Yeah, innocent is how I would describe this movie. Some people might disagree with that, but I just feel like there's a lot of compassion in this film from everyone. The sequences where they're just doing incredibly mundane tasks were beautifully shot, and there's a sense of calm that just overtakes you when you're watching those sequences. I really enjoyed just seeing Willem Dafoe taking a smoke break on the top floor of the motel. I enjoyed him in the security room just typing away at his keyboard. I enjoyed seeing him and his son in the movie, moving furniture. And I don't think that's a weird thing for me to say. I think that's the intended effect, just highlighting the beauty and ordinary, everyday, mundane tasks. The cinematography is mind-blowing in a very unique way, where it constantly surprises you by shooting and framing things in ways that you would not expect things to be framed. It's hard to describe. I'm sure there's a way to describe it, but it feels natural and imperfect, yet precise and clean. You can't help but be engrossed by what's happening in the frame. It's not just the cinematography that makes this whole thing pop with beauty, but it's also the color grading. A lot of saturation, especially on Willem Dafoe's skin. He looked orange for a lot of this film. And I'm okay with that because it makes it work. That's all I can really say. I'm astonished and really, really impressed by the two leads in this movie, Brooklynn Prince and Bria Vinaite. One of them is a child and the other one had no prior acting experience and yet gave incredible performances in the film. And I find that so wonderful. I think there was an interview where the casting director or someone said that they found Bria through Instagram and then literally just contacted her and then she started in the film, just like that. It's always interesting to pull back the layers on a movie and see how everything came to be, and for the Florida Project especially, I think it was fascinating to see how this movie came to life. They shot this at a real motel, I believe, and so sometimes residents of the motel would just make an quick appearance in the film and then just go about their day, which is really cool. And after rewatching it for the second time, I'm still not tired of it. I feel like I can watch it like 3 more times. And I think that is a testament to how well crafted this story is. You sort of pick up something new every time you watch this film. It's just so human and chaotic in nature, but beautiful as well, incredibly beautiful. The dynamic between the kids were great. They felt like actual children, you know? They behaved like actual children, talked like actual children. And seeing Mooney slowly losing her friends, you know, Dickie, Scooty, and then almost Jancy, was heartbreaking, and seeing that slow shift of losing her friends was done really well and subtly. I love a lot of the dynamics in this movie, whether it's between Mooney and Hallie, Hallie and Ashley, or Hallie and Bobby. This movie gets the human essence very well through those dynamics and relationships. Hallie especially is a pretty complex character. I love her energetic, youthful nature, but that's also what kind of causes her downfall. The absence of care is what gives her so much strength, but it's a bit too unbalanced, and she feels the repercussions of that in the movie. She's a really well done character. I simultaneously would love to have her as a friend, and would also kind of feel frustrated to have her as a friend because of just how she is. And seeing that contrast between Hallie and Ashley makes their similarities and differences clear. One of them is trying to mature, while the other one is still stuck in that childish mindset, you could say. Bobby's relationship with Hallie is also super fascinating, and in that same vein, also his relationship with Mooney is both very fascinating, because amongst these two, he's able to get mad at one of them for their childishness, and for the other one, he's able to show more sympathy and understandingness for their childish behavior. And I really liked observing that contrast. His compassion towards Mooney and his strictness towards Hallie, even though these two people are very similar. I learned this recently, but this film only had a budget of around $2 million, which is incredibly cheap. I think it's cheaper than The Lobster, which I think had like a $5 million budget. And it's incredible to see what you can do with $2 million, because with that budget, they earned like 5 times that amount. And also, this movie was ranked one of the top 10 movies of 2017, I believe. And I think that's great. As an aspiring filmmaker, I'm glad that I'm being exposed to more and more films that are well received and have a relatively low budget. As long as that core human connection is there, then that's mostly what matters, and you've got a good thing on your hands. So if you haven't watched The Florida Project, then I think this is your time to go online and watch it. I think it'll charm you with its innocence and purity and chaos and beauty. And without those things, what's the point of life? If you know any movies that are similar to The Florida Project, I'm all ears. Please recommend them to me in the comment section below. And while you're there, let me know what you thought about the movie yourself. I would love to read your responses. Have you been to Disney World? Because I know that I would like to visit Disney World after watching this movie. And then maybe we can even sell off-brand perfume to tourists in Disney World. That is all from me today. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day.